Hi, my name is Joey, and thank you for clicking on my channel, Phoenix #Rising from the Ashes, and it is a mental health vlog about my life and the people in my life who all deal with like our own sort of mental challenges uh, in our own ways, and also try to get like along with each other at the same time. It's not always easy. For those of you who speak generation, we're talking Generation X, me and my other half. Generation Alpha is our daughter. And Silent Generation technically is my mother. I mean, she kind of borders on the boomer, like just, right at the brink. But she's not quite there. She is actually from the previous generation, as was my father, who was older than her. And they were still very, they were brought up very differently than they brought me up. And I am trying to bring my kid up very differently than they brought me up. Because she does have sort of the same issues. Like, she has been diagnosed with ADHD, and she has been, oh geez, I just noticed the shirt I'm wearing has these little holes for the fingers. Okay, sorry. She has been diagnosed, and she has been in therapy and whatnot since she was first grade. So she's very headstrong, and her dad, my partner, are always butting heads. Always. My mother, like I said, is very older, very set in her ways, and she literally, I believe, disapproves of everything I think about me. And there's no evidence to show that she ever did approve. So I kind of feel like just like a big disappointment. And it's something that has come on strong in the past, I would say like probably 5 years or so. All the tension has come to, a point. And my partner and my mother do not speak. And I don't really speak to her any more than I have to. And it's a mess. It's a fucking actual mess. Because I can't stand to be at odds with people. I am not good at that. But at the same time, I get what I believe happens to a lot of people that have mental health conditions. You get like a thrill, a dopamine spike, perhaps I should say, when you are in some kind of emotional interaction. All right. And I have learned, especially hard in the past 5 years, that a lot of the strife between people, I'm just speaking for my household, it has to do with that. And it's, I don't know how to say it. It's hard to learn that you can do something like that. Because you're like, if you put it in plain language, you say to somebody, yo, you're like actually picking a fucking fight with me because you want a little pick me up. And I'm not going to have that. No, you're not going to do that to me. Fuck off. That's hard to hear at first. So it's important, actually, because if you don't identify it, that it's happening, then you can't stop it. And when I think back on my life, I've always been in turmoil, always. There's like somebody on the other side of the wall. There's no one out there. It sounds like there's somebody in the garbage cans. I always hear that when I'm in this fucking garage. I hear sounds like right behind this wall, which is the where the garbage cans are. And I'm like, are our neighbors sneaking in and like rearranging the cans? Because that's what it sounds like. Bunch of blocky movement. Okay, stop it, Joey. You don't even know what you were talking about now, you asshole. When you get like that little fire in your belly after you get a fight going, it does like carry one through. Unfortunately, it carries one through in a negative way. And I have noticed, looking back on my life, how often this happens. I don't always notice when other people do it. I have only ever really concentrated on noticing myself and when I do it, because I'm the only one I can change. So it's hard to kind of like come to terms with that. But there have been times in recent years where it's just so obvious that's what I'm after, and maybe even my partner too. I think my partner maybe picks fights. My partner doesn't really pick fights, but aims to win them, to be sure. And I'm not sure. I can only control myself, after all. So we live in this complicated situation. It's so complicated. The fucking police were recently out here at the house, and it was over something like so ordinary, honestly, that it was laughable for my mother to call them. And it just, it just threw a big wrench in the whole trying to like forgive and get along thing. We went to therapy earlier this year and part of last year with my mom and my partner and me. And we all, it was my therapist, but they sat in and we all tried to like come to some sort of understanding and meeting of minds. Didn't happen. But any like goodness or positivity that was the result of that, gone. Because it's pretty unforgivable, in my opinion, to call the police in this situation. It could have ended really, really badly. And I feel that she wanted it to end badly. I think she's wanted to do that for a long time, and I think that she's wanted a certain result. But the thing of it is, she didn't get that result. She actually got me and her granddaughter technically arrested as a result. Fortunately, I got injured and that combined with the general calm of the three of us, the family unit that were involved in the scuffle, and, calmly told the officers what happened and this and that. And they, we had to go to like legal dealings, but we didn't have to go to jail. So bottom line, and then for that, I was very grateful. But that's not what my mother had in mind to happen. I'm sure she was hoping they would take her son-in-law away. And for that, I say she's a fucking asshole. That's all I can say about that. My apologies and respect to anybody who loves their mother or misses their mother or never had a mother. I feel so bad for that because I always felt like I did have a good mother, and I do. I'm not saying she's a bad person or a bad mother necessarily. But she's put me through a lot of things in the last 10 years since I've had my child, my own child, and we've all lived together, that have shown me like another side of her. And it's been very difficult to try to come to terms with that, to try to even like see it, without sort of blinders on like this, like having my eyeballs just like pressed into it is what it took to get me to see it. And it's heartbreaking, honestly. But but once I see these things, like I can't just ignore them. You know why? Because if I do, then I lose my growth. I lose my evolvement. I lose my identity, maybe. I don't know the word. But it's betraying myself. And besides what it does to my child and her other parent, it's terribly painful for me. And it's painful for them. And nobody understands it. And we're all just a little upset about it. But the thing of it is, I have been documenting some of these things right along on this YouTube channel. I did over 200 videos, I think in the first 3 years. And I talked about being arrested and going to jail for real. That was my fault, okay? But I lost our dogs. Mother had heavy-handed in that. And I talk about that. And I talk about just life in general, trying to rise up and be someone who I can be satisfied and proud to be. And I'm not always there at all, like, not always proud to be me. It's hard. Because I've been dealing with this mental illness for a long time. And now I find myself, old, in this gene pool of Gen Alpha, of which I have contributed my information. And I'm like, Oh, wow. I can't do what I've done the last 20 years of my life, which was just kind of lie low and just not really participate. And that was good for me. But I had a kid and I'm like, I can't do that anymore. And sometimes it's very intimidating because you have to like be part of society. I'm not saying I wasn't part of society, like I didn't have a driver's license or register to vote or anything. I'm just saying not part of society, like not part of a social society, like on purpose. Seriously, like I don't like it. But anyway, this has gone on long enough. 15 minutes plus. Thank you for watching. Please come back and see me next time and give it a like, thumbs up, whatever they do on YouTube. Subscribe.